In Austin, I'm Mark Mullins. Well, the end of the year is almost here, and the Travis County Tax Office wants to remind property owners to pay their property taxes early because you could see some benefits. Jessica Cha explains what benefit an early payment can bring.
The clock is counting down to the end of the year, as well as the deadline to pay your property taxes by.
The state law says they have to be paid by January the 31st. There are some people who could benefit from the IRS by paying their taxes by the end of the year.
Celia Israel is the Travis County tax assessor collector. And despite the normal deadline, she says paying your property taxes before the end of the year could make it a deduction on your tax return.
There's a way to itemize your deductions: childcare, property tax, insurance, automobile expense. One of the deductions is property tax. So for those who are used to doing an itemized involved tax return, they want to show, hey, I paid my taxes, so that they lessen their tax burden.
In other words, you could end up owing less federal tax to the IRS. It's a trick that Aaron Burgess, a Travis County homeowner, knows.
Anytime that I can get a deduction on my overall taxes is going to lower the amount that I have to pay overall to the IRS. So I like to make sure that that happens in a timely manner.
And time is running out to do it. Israel says there's a variety of ways to pay your bill. However, she says it's best to go to their website and pay online through an e-check, which only costs $1.
Let's take care of it sooner rather than later.
The Hays County Sheriff's Office is warning everyone about rabies. They say last week an animal control officer responded to a neighborhood in Wood Creek, which is near Wimberley. On Palmer Lane, they found a dead fox that later tested positive for rabies. Authorities say a medium-sized black dog was seen near the dead fox. If that was your dog, you're asked to contact the Hays County Sheriff's Office non-emergency line. The Sheriff's Office is also urging pet owners to make sure they're up to date on their pet rabies vaccinations. An historic investment into rural health care across the U.S. and especially here in Texas. The state will receive more than $281 million each year for the next 5 years in order to strengthen the rural health workforce and technology. Malia Masamoto spoke with one rural pharmacy in Blanco, hoping this new funding makes it out to them.
For the pharmacists behind these counters,
we're probably the first ones to know if something's not going right with some of these people.
And for Blanco's population of just about 2,000 people, it's a place many visit more frequently than a doctor's office.
We're frontline healthcare providers for a lot of the people in the area. We're here for a lot of questions I think that people have that might save them from going to an emergency room visit.
But with competition from big box pharmacies, Siobhan Ashley, the owner of Blanco Pharmacy and Wellness, worries what the community would do without this place that's been here since 1880.
I think it would be frustrating for people and difficult, if not impossible, for a lot of people.
But Monday, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced a huge milestone in rural health care, $50 billion to strengthen the rural health workforce and modernize technology across the U.S., with Texas receiving the largest chunk, $281 million each year for the next 5 years. Earlier this year, RFK Jr. advocated at the Capitol for Texas to prioritize rural health initiatives.
And when they lose them, as we talked about before, it's not just the hospital that closes, it's the pharmacy that closes, it's the stores that close, and the community collapses.
The Texas Health and Human Services Commission said the funds will be allocated for initiatives that offer grants to reduce chronic disease, use AI and telehealth services, and recruit and retain rural healthcare workers. And with a community pharmacy closing every week in Texas, Ashley hopes this funding will not only go to the rural hospitals, but also pharmacies.
We're hoping that we, can get paid for the chronic care management, for remote patient monitoring, for medication review that we do. We're just the big part of the healthcare needs as the hospitals are.
In Blanco, Malia Masamoto, KVUE News.
Local governments, rural hospitals, and health providers will be able to apply for the funding in the spring. A new exhibition called Particles of Color at the Texas Science and Natural History Museum is shining a light on the fashion industry's biggest problem, and that's waste. The exhibit showcases sustainable fabrics and materials created by UT Austin students and faculty. The centerpiece is a revolutionary sequin that comes from agricultural waste and natural pigments instead of petroleum. They're compostable and non-toxic. Those involved say the goal is simple: making beauty that doesn't poison the planet. The exhibit runs through April at the Texas Science and Natural History Museum on the UT campus. The Bastrop Opera House is setting the stage for something bigger, an expansion aimed at doubling its size and strengthening the city's cultural scene. The leaders of the Opera House bought new space right next door, which will add more than 5,000 square feet. But they need the community's help to bring it to life. Brianna Perez explains.
The Bastrop Opera House is opening the curtains to its next act, an expansion designed to make room for more arts and a greater community impact.
I've been thinking about you.
Since 1889, the Bastrop Opera House has been a cultural cornerstone, bringing theater, dance, and music to the heart of the city through its productions and youth academy.
We have kids that have come in here so bashful, and within just a few months, they're up on the stage giving monologues. Children who have had depression that have come in and just really found themselves here at the Opera House.
Executive Director Lisa Holcomb says the current building serves as a home to the theater, which produces 8 shows annually and hosts more than 70 students each semester. But now she says it's struggling to keep up with demand.
We usually have one show that is rehearsing on the stage and 1 to 2 others that need to be rehearsing as well. And we don't have the space for that. So we typically have to be at the mercy of the community to let us rehearse wherever we can.
To double their space, she says the nonprofit bought the historic building next door in 2024 and launched a $2.8 million renovation campaign for the first phase of the project. With help from the city and local businesses, they are nearly halfway to their goal, but they still need community support.
It's going to make a world of difference to our performers and to the productions themselves once we're able to just bring it all home.
Equipped with another theater plus rehearsal and office space, she says the expansion will allow for more shows, classes, and community events.
Whether they're just a patron, because we love our patrons, or whether they're actually on stage, or whether they're volunteering for us, we hope it gives them more opportunities to do what they really love.
The Bastrop Opera House hopes to finish renovations by April 2026. In Bastrop, Brianna Perez, KVUE News.
Can't wait to see it. Those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.